Hello guys. Today we are going to understand the clearinghouse mechanism, the role of the clearinghouse in a futures contract, and how margin accounts are maintained by the stock exchange is the topic for the day. And we will have some hypothetical examples also to make us understand in a better manner. Okay. And as we know, the future contract is between in a future contract is between, of course, a buyer and a seller, but then it happens through the stock exchange in a standardized format, right? So now buyer is always called as a long position holder, seller is always called as a short position holder. Don't forget that, please do remember. Now, through the stock exchange, when you're doing, I had said you that future contracts, when we compare it to forwards, has majorly one advantage, that is assumption of the default risk is held by the stock exchange. In case of a forward contract, if one of the parties defaults, then the other party has to go to a court only to settle it. But in case of a future contract, it is not so. If one of the party defaults, the other party, assume that the buyer defaults, then seller can go to the stock exchange and still can claim for it. Okay, he need not have to go to court. But in case of over the counter, which is the forward contract, seller had to go to the court only. This is the major advantage of the futures contract, wherein it is standardized, of course. At the same time, it is safeguarded and guarantees been given to you in terms of the default risk. Okay, who provides this is the clearinghouse. Okay, stock exchange is just a market. Okay, who actually gives you the guarantee and the safety to your contract is the clearinghouse. Do you think now clearinghouse will do is it a non-profit organization? Of course not, right? So they are not they are not here to give you a free of cost service. They of course do a take you a charge for the assumption of the risk from you both as a being a seller and the buyer. Whatever risk that you are forwarding it to the clearing house, it is going to make sure that you are paying for it also. Okay, so it's like you when you're taking an insurance policy, you're actually paying the premium to the insurer. Insurance company will take care of your asset in case of the disease, anything goes wrong in the future, but for which you need to pay the premium, correct? It is the same case. You are transferring your risk to the clearing house through the stock exchange, of course, but clearing house will not do it at a free of cost. It does the job with the amount of deposit that both the parties have to pay, which is called as margin account. It assumes the risk and hence maintains the margin, we call it. The margin is something which the buyer and the seller, both the parties, has to pay to the stock exchange, which will be transfer to the clearing house. Why do we do this? Because clearing house is the one which is assuming the risk of default or risk of the entire contract, I can say. Risk of majorly the default risk. Okay. So for which both the buyer and seller has to make a payment. That payment initially while getting into the contract that you do is called as initial margin. There are three types of margin, as you can see here. One is initial margin, the second one is maintenance margin, and the third one is variation margin. If I keep explaining you theoretically, nothing goes into our brain. Okay, so let's take up an example directly and then solve the margin account balance statements, and we will understand what is called initial margin and then maintenance margin and variation margin while doing the same. Before we actually get into that, you understand that daily price changes in the stock market or any market, commodity market or any other market for which is your underlying asset. Okay, daily price change will result in either loss or gain to the parties who are involved into the contract. When you are netting the gain or loss against the margins, which is called initial margin, hope you will understand it while solving a problem. This process is called marking to market. Okay, marking to market. Now let's understand a problem. Before we understand the problem, I want you to understand this first. Okay, assume that you are a buyer, which means you are a long position holder. Okay, all the buyers are taking a long position. All the sellers are taking a short position. You are a buyer who is taken a long position. You have entered into a contract with this seller at 100 rupees price. Okay, when will be a buyer be benefited only when at the end of the maturity of the contract, the price is more than 100. Hope you're understanding. If the price is 105 in the market on the, assume the contract ends on July, okay, July 30th, okay, assume like that. On July 30th, if the price is in the market, if the price is 100 rupees is the contract price between these two at which he will buy and he will sell. On July end, if the price is assume 105, so what is he doing? He is actually buying at a lesser price at 100 from him, not buying at 105 in the market, correct? So what is he making? He is making a profit here, right? He is making a profit. 100 was the agreed amount between buyer and the seller. Okay, if in the spot market it becomes two cases now. Okay, if it becomes 105, there is no space there, please manage 105. Okay, then what happens? The buyer will be benefited from this contract because he's buying at 100 from the seller, not buying at 105 in the market, correct? He is benefited. So what is he doing? He is making a profit here by 5 rupees. Are you understanding? He is actually making a profit by 5 rupees here. What if the price is 95 or 90? Let's not confuse ourselves. Okay, it's 90. What if it's 90? Now you have to understand, if the price is less, he, instead of he buying from a seller which was agreed at 100, if he had gone, but the buyer, if he had gone to the market to buy, he would have got it at 90 rupees. What is he making now? He is making a loss here. When the price decreases, he makes a loss. When the price is increased, he makes a gain or profit. Who? The buyer. What happens? What happens to the seller then? Okay, if you assume the same example, to the seller, what happens? If the price was 105 according to our example, this is one situation. The other situation is if price is, okay, I'm sorry. If the price is 90. Okay, what happens to the short position holder? If it is 105, he is actually losing the money. Agree? If price is increased, he is losing the money. Why? He has to sell it at 100 now to the buyer. But in the market, he can directly sell it at 105. Understanding? But when the price is decreased, what happens? If he had gone to market to sell, he would have sold at only 90. Now what is he doing? He is selling to the buyer at 100. So he is making a profit here. So for a short position holder, if the price is decreased, he makes a profit. When price is increased, he makes a loss. Hope this is clear to you. Okay. If for a long it's profit, for a short it is always a loss. For a long, if it is loss, for a short it is always a profit. Okay, remember this much. Now we'll get back to our example. Assume that there is a contract wherein you have taken a long position to buy gold. The number of contract that you have got into is 2. Number of quantity that you are going to purchase, because it is standardized one. Stock exchange will specify you what should be the quantity for each contract. You have to choose that much only. You cannot customize here, okay? Because it's a futures contract. So each contract has got 100 size. Opening price is 400. Okay, initial margin is 5% of the contract value. Maintenance margin is 75% of the initial margin, they say. So now we have not understood what is initial margin, maintenance margin or anything. We will understand it now. Assume that this price of the gold is getting varied in the spot market like this. Okay, for next 6 and 7 days. For next 7 days, the stock price is varying like this. If so, you've been asked to maintain the margin account for the position holder. Okay, this is the question. This question comes for you. This will be a definite question for you in the exam, which will come for 10 marks. Okay, and one of the very important ones to understand also, if you want to deal with derivatives, this makes very much sense for us to understand. Okay, with the price volatility, how we gain, how we lose, how maintenance margin or initial margin plays a important role in the futures investments. You will understand it very well here. How to find the contract value is two contract that you have entered into. Here number of contract that you have entered into is 2 contract, multiplied by size is 100. For each contract the size is specified as 100, multiplied by the contract value is 400. Okay, so 400. So the total contract value is 80,000. Now what you need to find is something called as initial margin. So what is this initial margin? This initial margin is, they have said us here, is 5% of the contract value. It is 5% of contract value. So what I have done, 5% on the 80,000 I have taken, which is 4,000. What does this mean? This means that when a position holder gets into the contract with stock exchange, to enter into the contract, to complete the entering into the contract, he has to make a initial deposit to the stock exchange. That initial deposit that he makes is called as initial margin. Okay, understanding it? The initial deposit that the position holder, both buyer and seller, both has to make the payment. Okay, the initial deposit that the buyer or a seller pays to the stock exchange to enter into the contract is called initial margin. Hope this is clear to you. And there is something called as maintenance margin. MM represents maintenance margin. Here also MM have written. It is called maintenance margin. They have said it is 75% of the initial margin. Now, how to find it? It is 75% of your initial margin of 4,000, which is coming up to 3,000. So what does this mean? This means that as and when the price keeps changing, you keep making profit or loss. Okay, because of which your initial margin also keeps getting affected. Right? If you gain, this will increase. If you lose, this will decrease. Understanding it? If you gain by 200, this becomes 4,200. If you lose next day 300, this becomes 4,200 minus 300. So it becomes 3,900. Likewise, this initial margin keeps on changing by daily price variation. Clear? If the margin account balance goes below this level, 3,000 level, then because of the price variation, your margin account also keeps varying. Because of this variation, if your margin account balance goes below this level of maintenance margin, okay, then you will get a call from the stock exchange demanding you to pay some amount, the remaining part of the money, to make it as initial margin again. Assume that it had become, instead of 3,000, it had become 2,500. So immediately you will get a call. Okay, till it reaches 3,000, you will not get a call at all. Once it reaches 1 rupee less than this also, you will get a call. Once you get a call, you should make sure that your margin account balance is again 4,000. Whatever is the balance, you got to pay. Assume according to our example, 2,500 it became. You will get a call. They will say that deposit and make it 4,000 again. So you already got 2,500 in the margin account balance. Pay another 1,500 to make it 4,000. This is called maintenance margin. Okay. I hope in inventory management you have understood the reorder level and placing the order and stuff in inventory management. Okay, there the similar concept is used. Like reorder level, once the inventory reaches the reorder level, the order will be placed and you get it replenished, right? The similar way, get it replenished to the again maximum level or optimum level, correct, of the inventory. The same way, as and when your margin account balance goes below this level, you will get a call to make sure that your margin account balance is again 4,000. Okay, this is called maintenance margin. So let's get back to our problem now. The prices I have written as it is, they have given us. Okay, the day wise price of written here. Then I have a second column which explains the daily profit or loss because of the price fluctuation every day. How your daily prices are, daily profit or loss positions are is explained here. Cumulative profit or loss is shown here, which will be accumulated every day. So totally whether you are earning a profit or loss, it will be explained at the end of the period. Okay, margin account balance will be shown here, which gets netted, or we call this as marking to market. Okay, we keep changing this. The margin account balance keeps changing because of the profit or the loss position. We will understand how. Then there is something called as margin call. I said you, as and when the margin account balance goes below this level, okay, you will get a call from the stock exchange to make sure that you are depositing and making it again 4,000. So when you get a call, how much you need to deposit, you have to show in the margin call account. So now you will still understand it when we solve a problem. So you understand that we have taken a long position here, okay? For a long position holder, when will you make a profit? It is when the profit increases. When will you make a loss? It is when profit decreases. The same is just opposite for a short position holder. The amount will also be same. There is no change at all in the amount also. Okay. So quickly let's go through this. When you are entering into the contract, it is 400 rupees, which is amounting to the total amount of margin account balance will be 4,000, which we have shown already as 4,000 here, which will be depositing as an initial margin. First day of your, getting into the contract, very next day, the price is reduced by how much? From 400 to 397, it is reduced by 3 rupees. I have written a symbol also, reduction symbol, reduced symbol, multiplied by, which is 3 by 3 rupees, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 100. So why 2 and 100? Because you have entered into two contracts which carries 100 units each. Okay, so 100 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 rupees of decrease in the price leads to so totally 600 rupees of loss. Why it is a loss? I have already said you, when price decreases, you make a loss as a long position holder. Okay, so it is a loss. So cumulatively you have made 600 rupees of loss. When you make a loss, your margin account will get deducted automatically by the loss amount. So you had 4,000 which will be deducted from by the stock exchange, which is worth of 600 rupees. So margin account balance became 3,400 at the end of the first day. Second day, you will realize that prices again decreased by 90 paisa. That is 0.9 units. It is decreased. Multiplied by two contracts, multiplied by 100 units. So total loss is 180 for that day. 600 you had already lost previous day plus 180 today. So total loss is 780. What happened to your margin account balance? You had the margin account balance of 3,400 previous day. You have lost 180 rupees today. So it became 3,220. Hope this is clear to you. What happened next day? Prices increased by 2.1 rupee. Multiplied by 2, multiplied by 100. So total gain, when price increases, it's a gain. Okay, I am again repeating the same. When price increases, it's a gain, which is 420 rupees in this case. So your accumulated loss goes down, gets set off with the gains. Accumulated loss was 780, gets set off with the gain of 420. So your accumulated loss as on the third day is 360. What happens to your margin account balance? Like how it was deducted with your loss, it gets added with your gains. So 3,220 was your margin account balance, for which 420 will be added on the third day. So it became 3,640. Fourth day, margin, there is a decline in the price. So you made a loss of 220. So 360 plus 220 became 580. Your margin account balance went down by 220. So it had a balance of 3,420. Okay. Next day again there is a price decrease by 1.1 rupee. So total loss of 220 for the day for you. Total loss for all these period is 800 for you. Okay, so your margin account balance is 3,420 minus 220, which is 3,200. Next day, prices still decreased. Okay, it's a bearish trend, you can observe. Okay, so prices still decrease by 2 rupees. So you made a loss of 400, wherein your cumulative loss became 1200. 800 plus 400 becomes 1200, wherein your margin account balance went below 3000. My margin account maintenance margin should be 3. If it is going below 3, you get to deposit an amount. You will get a call from the stock exchange. Okay, so how did it become 2800? You had a balance of 3200 minus the 400 rupees of loss for the day. So 2800 it became. So immediately from the stock exchange you will get a call and you will be instructed to make this balance immediately as 4000. So they've already got 2800 with them. To make it 4000, you will have to deposit 1200 more. So it becomes 4000 again. Now your margin account balance is 4000 because you've paid the money. Okay, don't forget that. Now again on the next day, the price is increased by 1 rupee. So you made a profit of 200. Here what happens, your total loss was 1200, wherein you gained 200. Okay, this is a loss. Please put it in the bracket. This is not a profit. I have forgotten a bracket here. This is a loss of 1000. So totally 2200 rupees of loss was there. 200 rupees you gain. So there is a total loss of 1000 rupees here. Okay, it is a loss. Please put a bracket here. What happened to your margin account balance? You had deposited 1200. You had 2800 with them. So totally it was 4000. From 4000, for 4000, the stock exchanges added 200 rupees of your daily gain, which made it as 4200 rupees. Okay, this is as on at the end of the day, if this is the end of the contract, how much is the profit of the loss position for him? It is a total loss of 1000 for him. Correct? It is a total loss of 1000 for him. From the entire trading day, there is a total loss of 1000 for him. Please understand that. Right? So I will be coming back again with another example, with another video, because it has a time limit here to record. It gives me only 30 minutes of time and takes a lot of space also. So I would come back here with another example, and I will also be giving you a very quick glance on the second modules, and a small revision on compounding and discounting criteria will be done in the next video, which will be right now. I will be uploading soon after finishing this. Okay, thank you. Please stay on.